what more can you say than Tyron Woodley's a monster, right? He's one of the greatest. We still have to slow our roll because I'm seeing a lot of people throwing him to be the greatest welterweight of all time. He still has a way to go. I know this is a fresh win. I know he's the latest champion or the current champion in the welterweight division. And you can forget all the things GSP did. But if you were back in that time, if you're watching it, you can't see Tyron Woodley being better or greater than GSP in the welterweight division, right? He didn't do enough. Let's be honest. He didn't do enough yet. But I would say right now, because he's still active, he still has time to surpass GSP. I would say he's probably the second greatest welterweight of all time. People will say Matt Hughes, because Matt Hughes also has more title defenses. I think he has 5. And Tyron Woodley has 3 title defense wins. I don't know if you count the draw. But I think Tyron Woodley beating better competition than Matt Hughes puts him above Matt Hughes. And he has some way to go to reach GSP. GSP, when you were watching him fight, it was unheard of. The only guy you saw back then was Anderson Silva and then John Jones. Those are the only 2 guys you saw that compared with GSP in their dominance. And GSP was not fighting scrubs. He was fighting the best of the best. He fought the best fighters of 3 generations. The Matt Hughes generation, then the Thiago Alves and the Dan Hardys, those guys, and then the guys like Johnny Hendricks. And he beat all of them. And later in his career, when he fought Carlos Condit and Nick Diaz and Johnny Hendricks, you could see his skills are kind of declining and more so his enthusiasm. So even before the Carlos Condit fight, he was talking about that. It wasn't fun for him like it used to be. And then he started getting caught. He started getting hit when he shouldn't be getting hit. Johnny Hendricks put a beating on him. I always thought that was a very hard matchup for GSP, but he got hit a lot more than I thought he would have. Tyron Woodley, if he beats Colby Covington, he beats Kamaru Usman, he beats a guy like Santiago Ponzinibbio and then someone else or something, he's in the discussion. Because if he's able to beat all those guys, his competition is stronger than GSP's. Stephen Thompson, Damian Maia, Darren Till, Colby Covington, Kamaru Usman, all these guys, I think they're a little bit stronger, right? Then guys like BJ Penn, who's very small for welterweight, Matt Hughes, who's a bit older, right? Nick Diaz, Carlos Condit, Johnny Hendricks. These guys right now, Stephen Thompson, Damian Maia, all these guys are better. And he's beating them at their own game pretty much. He's outstriking Stephen Thompson and Darren Till, who are the best strikers in the division. And he's stopping all the takedowns from the best BJJ artists in the division. And if he goes against Colby Covington and out-wrestles him and out-wrestles Kamaru Usman, you're talking about someone who he's beating everybody at their own game. And that is an all-time great achievement. You know how hard that is to do, to beat everybody at their own game? The only guy that did that was John Jones. Nobody else really did that. John Jones out-wrestled Chael Sonnen. He outstruck Gustafsson in a sense, or competed with Gustafsson in the striking. He outstruck and stuck in the pocket with Glover when everybody said the only way Glover's going to win this fight is if it stays in the pocket and they exchange. What happened? John Jones initiated that, and he beat the brakes off the guy doing that. He outstruck Shogun Rua with Muay Thai skills. Out-wrestled Daniel Cormier. The only guy that was able to do that was John Jones, and now Tyron Woodley's doing that. And that is such a hard thing to do. Nobody else is able to do that. GSP never did that. Anderson Silva never did that. Fedor never did that. Jose Aldo never did that. Demetrius Johnson never did that. Winning is hard enough, especially against the elite of the elite. But doing it like this is crazy. So when you look at the pound-for-pound rankings, let me pull that up really quick. Tyron Woodley's at number 7. And above him is Demetrius Johnson, then GSP, then Max Holloway, then TJ Dillashaw, then Conor McGregor, then Daniel Cormier. I would put Tyron Woodley in the top 5. And how I would do that is, personally, I think GSP would be number 1 if you look at his whole resume. But if you don't, and you look at what he did recently, you would have Daniel Cormier as number 1. I would put GSP number 2. You can't just look at one fight from GSP. You gotta look at more of that. If you just look at one fight, he doesn't even fit the top 10. I would put GSP number 2, then Conor number 3, then TJ number 4. Conor and TJ's hard to switch up. And then I'll put Tyron Woodley at number 5. I would bring Max Holloway down to number 6. And then Demetrius Johnson, for the time being, he's not the champion anymore. He just lost. I would put him in number 7. So Tyron Woodley at number 5 seems pretty well fit. And there's this whole thing going on with Tyron Woodley in the UFC and the promotion and the bosses and everybody involved. It's kind of a messed up situation if you think about it. Everybody, at least a lot of people in the organization, do not want Tyron Woodley to win his fights. Brendan Schaub came out and said that he knows somebody who directly works in that area, And they always talk about how they want Tyron Woodley to lose because he is hard to deal with. That's so messed up. Imagine if you're Tyron Woodley. Imagine even at your job, your boss wants you to fail. Do you know how hard that would be to deal with on a day-to-day basis? That's always on your mindset that my bosses keep wanting me to lose. But good thing on Tyron Woodley, he's not letting that get to his head. He's kind of brushing it off. You could see he's kind of mad about it, but he's not like reacting the way everybody expects him to react. He's kind of like, okay, they want me to lose, I won't lose. I'll just make it hard on them. So great mindset by Tyron Woodley going in all this. That is very hard to deal with. Not only beating, look how hard it is for this guy. Not only does he have to beat these top elite fighters, some of the best welterweights in the division's history, and not only is he doing it at their own game, knocking out Robbie Lawler the way he did, fighting his own game like that, outstriking Stephen Thompson in a distance point fighting game, stopping all Damian Maia's takedowns, going blow for blow with Darren Till. But he has this pressure that everybody wants him to lose. Tyron Woodley probably has it harder than most champions right now. So that's kind of messed up. And his next opponent has to be Colby Covington. I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to throw at him because it does justice for everybody involved. It's good for Tyron Woodley because it would probably be his biggest fight promotionally and commercially and all that sort of stuff. He's going to make the most money out of that fight. It's going to get promoted a lot, especially from Colby's side. And number two, he's going to get to beat up the guy or attempt to beat up the guy that he really wants to beat up. So there's that. It's good for Colby. He gets a title shot that he's always been asking for. And again, it's going to be the biggest fight in his career. It's good for the organization. It could potentially be a very big fight. It could draw in the casual fans. And the fans seem to like it. So this fight does good for everybody. And to be honest, I think this fight can even get the attention of the casual fans because of the whole thing if Colby sticks with the Donald Trump thing, sticks with the nerd bash, whatever thing, and the rivalry between them, the press conference is going to be crazy. I think a lot of the casual fans are going to be picking that up, especially the things Colby's going to be saying. And Tyron Woodley, he has guys like Snoop Dogg behind him, and celebrities can get behind Tyron Woodley and just make this thing a whole big thing. It's going to be one side or another. There's not going to be really any middle ground here. Everybody's either going to want to see Colby Covington get beat down, or everybody's going to want to see Colby be triumphant in this whole thing. It's going to be like in the American football games or the baseball games or basketball games where the fans kind of hate each other kind of thing. You're going to see a lot of people argue and just go at each other like that over this fight. And to be honest, when that happens, a lot of people show up to watch it. And the biggest thing probably going for Colby Covington is he might be, I'm a little bit ignorant to other sports because I don't really watch other sports, but is he the biggest Trump supporting athlete right now? And if he is, that whole sphere, all the Trump supporters, all that, are going to tune in to watch Colby Covington. And the people who hate Trump are going to watch to see Colby Covington lose.